Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Legends Symbiosis, where today we are starting a new game as the Mykara. We played as the Mykara already earlier in the series, so we don't need to go over their stuff in detail. However, I do want to talk about things that are going to be different in this game, thanks to changes made by the Endless Legend community patch. So number one, the community patch has fixed, or at least partially alleviated, the issue where Overgrown Cities used to make it impossible for you to remain fervent. That's good, because fervency is important, especially in a single city empire that's going to be like very desperate for any resources it can get at all. The big 15% bonus from being fervent over happy is a significant deal. Number two, Overgrown Cities. You can now pick up one Overgrown City from each faction through trade if you are friendly with that faction. You can get them to give you a city. Obviously, that would be expensive, but it's a way of getting the Symbiosis trait for a faction that you are friends with and don't want to have to backstab. I don't know if that's going to play into our playthrough at all. I don't really have a plan here. I don't know if we're going to make friends, if we're going to fight everybody, but it's good to know that it's an option. And number three, I think this is a pretty big deal. In the base game, the Mykara start with Search Party and Topography. In the community patch, they now start with Cultivation and Topology unlocked. This is important for two reasons. Number one, Search Party is the worst technology in the game, is the only technology that I feel is never correct to research. So, effectively, the Mykara were only starting with one tech, which is rough, considering that they were on the weaker side to begin with. And two, not only is Cultivation a real tech, and actually a very good tech, but it feeds specifically into what the Mykara are doing in the early game. You're spending food on producing fungal blooms and stuff. So I'm excited for the impact of this change. This should make things a lot easier in the early going. In general, I think the Mykara are still regarded as being on the weaker side, and I have very little experience with them. Like, literally all of the gameplay experience I have with them is on camera earlier in this series, so I haven't even played like half of a full game with them. So this is going to take a couple of tries, is where I'm going with that. We're probably going to screw this up and drop the ball a couple of times. But we will learn. That's what we're doing here. Game settings, all pretty much the same as what we normally do. 6 players instead of 8 this time, because I'm not sure that we actually get much extra out of 8 players, except for the game engine slowly choking and dying as you get to see more of the map. Hopefully going back to 6 will alleviate that somewhat. So, also, I have an announcement I guess I ought to make so that people do not feel blindsided when the thing that I'm about to talk about happens. We are coming up on the end of this series. My plan is to get a win with the Mykara, which again might take a couple of tries. And then once we've done that, once we've won with the Mykara, the Kapaku will be the only faction left that we haven't gotten to win with the community patch on, I believe. So we will play with them, and then once we get that win, I'm gonna end the series there. Endless Legends is a great game. I like it very, very much. It is still the best game in the genre, in my opinion. But the fact is, I'm burning out, or have burned out a little bit already. Have definitely started to burn out, and so I need a break. There's still going to be lots of stuff on the channel, of course, but we're going to have to take a little break from Endless Legend. But that's in the future, certainly not like tomorrow, right? We have many videos of Mykara coming up, at least, I think. All right, so let's get in here. Let's create our turn 1 saves so that people can play along. And I am liking our starting position here. You got a... Wow, that's a cluster of 4 anomalies. So generally the way the map generation works is your starting region has like a couple clusters of 2 anomalies, usually one of them quite close to you. This is unusual. Well, I think what's happening here is the game is doing its best to give me a chance of winning. This feels like a big deal. I am noticing that we're only going to have 4 dust in our starting tiles, but I'm certainly not going to complain about that given what all we have going here. Let's see, within 5 turns, search those runes over there for a cool shield. Does our hero use a shield? No, he's a 2-handed weapon guy. He could use a shield. He's a sword guy. He can use one-handers or two-handers. Okay. And I think we're going to be using our hero as a combat hero, right? He has no particular governing capacities. His skill tree has some okay stuff in it for governing, but that's it, right? A lot of this stuff actually is army stuff. Yeah. Oh, psychotropic spores is interesting. That said, if your main city gets sieged as a one-city faction, you're in desperate shape already, so you would like for psychotropic spores to never come up. Yeah, he's going to be an army hero. We'll try to recruit a governor quickly. Hopefully we can get hold of a cultist. So even though this location looks great, let's make sure we scout around. Holy crap. This is a pretty good starting region. Let's see here. We see a titanium deposit. We don't see any luxuries yet, but I mean just the... Oh, we do see luxuries. There's an emerald deposit right there. Yeah, this is a very anomaly-dense beginning. Okay, well, I guess we'll have this guy run down this way. If we start right here, we are not starting very close to the water. It'll be 2 burrows before we have the ability to build ships. We probably will not be very competitive for the early fortresses. Also, we're way at the top of the map, which makes it a little awkward to access the ocean anyway. But it's hard for me to imagine that the correct play is anything other than this. Yeah, Jesus. 18, 13, 12, 4, and we get to be happy. I think this might be the best starting location I've ever seen. It's entirely possible. And I guess at this point we can turn the resource overlay off for the rest of the game. So, the fact that we're starting with seed storage makes things kind of interesting. How do we want to do this? Putting you on industry only gets us a turn off of our building. It does not affect our birth rate right away. So I think we're going to do it. And we're actually +0 on dust. Well, hopefully we'll get lucky and get a bunch of early dust ruins. So if we're pretty committed to this, then we don't necessarily need to research Mill Foundry right away. Maybe we want to go for Language Square first. Man, look at that. Look at that tech rate. Boy, if I lose this game, I'm gonna look like a real idiot. Oh, we should while we're at the tech screen, we should look at these. So be the first to pacify 8 villages in order to gain the reward. Okay, Language Square first is looking pretty valuable there. And be the first to gather at least 30 units of one luxury resource in order to get 130 emeralds. I am not wild about 130 emeralds, but they would be useful at least as trade fodder. Plus 15% initiative on all of our units. It's probably pretty good though, because I believe we are going to be combat focused, right? We can't afford to make friends with everybody. We have to get some symbiosis, and we're not going to be able to get it all through trade. Is there anything else? I feel like there was something else that I intended to do on the first turn, but I don't know what it would be. Alright, so we're going to get Break Wall. We've met Red. Red is Draken somewhere. Can't really see anything yet. Yeah, I guess we're good to go. It's just weird. It's that weird feeling that there was something you were supposed to do, you know? Alright, so let's get back into our faction quest here. The ozonic stench of the mage's lightning attacks fills my nostrils, mingles with the smell of burning flesh. I stumble down a narrow passage, the dim phosphorescent light from the mycelial veins causing my shadow to flicker across the craggy stone. The rock shakes. I hear the deep-throated roar of the Urkan, and my skin crawls with terror. I'm gripping a weapon, a mighty axe, but it feels like dead weight in my hands. Am I rallying my men or running from the enemy? The passage opens into another tableau of slaughter, my kinsmen dying or dead on the cold stone, their blood sprayed in crimson arcs or pooled in dark puddles. I stop dead. You cannot linger? You are Toth Agnes, the first of the bloodline. Others need you. Empty words. This is a slaughter. I know there are no others. I've brought death upon these people who followed me away from the home vaults. Memory and reality are hard to distinguish. I slumber, drifting between the past and present. The battle is over, of that I'm certain. I survived, somehow. In the here and now, I feel renewal, regrowth, and a desire to reach into new places. I'm confused. I slip back into my recollections, the familiarity outweighing the distress. Something grips my ankle, and my body tenses, fingers gripping the shaft of the axe. It's only a dying kinsman, though. To my shame, I don't know his name. A handful of words spill from his lips, whispered and ragged. Avenge us. Tears come to my eyes, but my sadness swiftly turns to fury. I will, I reply, clutching his forearm. I promise. Avenge us is a whole handful of words? She must have small hands. Alright, get the Alchemist Furnace tech to move forward on the thing. Also, 80 dust. Pretty good reward for the early game. Maybe we want to... maybe we want to go Alchemist Furnace before Mill Foundry, because it's still going to be a few turns before we're ready to actually build our Mill Foundry. I think we do want to get the seed storage first. It's possible that winter will kick in before we get many turns of use out of it, but it's just a gamble I'm willing to take. I'm going to hope that we will get enough benefit from it to justify it going so early, because early food is really valuable. Okay, build the geomic labs in one of your cities to get sewer system for free. We are getting barely lucky. That's a pretty good find in that ruin. Home region minor faction is the Haunts, which is totally cool. And this is a strong start. We're going to build our first burrow out this way, and then we're going to have 5 anomalies. We're not too far from getting a 6th over there. We have a life tree available, which is just extremely cool looking, in addition to being very good. Yeah, wow, look at the anomaly density over here. Auriga's a crazy place. Also, lots and lots of minor faction villages really close to the capital, which is nice because it'll be easy to suppress them with violence if they don't want to do what we say. And still having that feeling like I'm supposed to be doing something. I don't know. I'm debating whether we want to buy the Founders Memorial. This will get us a good push on the seed storage, and I do want to get the seed storage up just the very instant we can, but I'm wondering if paying 81 dust for this Founders Memorial right now might make it impossible for us to buy a fast hero, and getting a hero up quickly is going to be very important to us. I'm going to try it. So it'll only be 4 turns until the seed storage is done. I think this is going to line up pretty well. Okay, never mind. With the additional production from the extra birth and the Founders Memorial, apparently we're going to get stuff done pretty quickly. Well, we'll go ahead and push through the seed storage really hard, and then maybe we'll pull people back to food for a while. But I want that seed storage. Alright, let's have a chat with these minor factions, see if they want to be as nice to us as the rest of the random number generation has been. Bring these boss 8 titanium. That could happen, maybe. Not super likely, I'll be honest with you. We could just attack them right now, burn the village using the capital's garrison, but I don't know. Let's see if we end up with a bunch of extra titanium. Maybe we won't need to do all that. These guys would like 8 emeralds. Okay, that's pretty doable. And obviously, killing the minor faction in your home region is not totally ideal. It'd be nice if we didn't have to do that. Because I don't want to have to rebuild the village. Give these Sisters of Mercy 50 dust. Well, I'll end my turn right here. We're going to search a couple of ruins real quick at the beginning of the next turn. Maybe we'll get the 50 dust. We are very slightly positive now, thanks to the Founders Memorial. We probably will still need to get lucky with ruins in order for spending another 50 dust to be the right thing to do. But the earlier we can get some pacifications, the earlier we can get some minor faction villages overgrown, right? I guess, what is the benefit of overgrowing a minor faction village, though? We get the tile yields, but because the tile necessarily has a village on it, it can't be an anomaly, it can't be a very good tile. Yeah, is it actually worth overgrowing? I guess overgrowing the minor faction villages makes them available for assimilation, right? I think. I don't know. We'll worry about it in a little bit. Right now we have a pretty easy path to keep walking. So we have spices available. We'll probably want to pick up the luxury extractor tech pretty early as well. I guess we have a lot of things that I want to do pretty early. Well, we certainly have 50 dust. Now the question is, do I actually want to spend it? With us not having any strategics at all, I wonder if it's worthwhile. Because the second part of this quest will be either to take our hero to another village in the same region, or give another village in the same region either 5 titanium or 5 glass steel. 2 of those outcomes we actually can't interact with. Could just attack the village. I think we're just going to attack the village. Sisters of Mercy are easy to defeat. Get a little bit of XP for our hero. Maybe get a better quest in this region, one we're more likely to be able to do. And this does count as pacifying a village for the purpose of the legendary deed. Yeah, sisters are not good fighters, so we should be able to handle this quite easily. Sure, we are fighting them from the forest. Yeah, our hero's quite a good fighter, and he has free counter. A big deal. No, please focus. We'll let, we have 24 damage and 42 attack against their 71 defense. Well, he's not likely to be able to kill either of them. Probably what's going to happen here is that the hero's going to kill one with the attack and the other one with the free counter. Yeah, alright. Pretty good combat hero. So we could start overgrowing this right now. It'll cost 40 total food. And that's all food that we're stealing from the mouths of our people. But, like, the benefit of that is that we will get 1 food and 1 dust per turn until somebody burns the village down. So I guess as long as that takes at least 40 turns, it's paying itself off. That said, like, losing food in the city early is definitely... Paying 40 food now to get 40 food later is a bad deal. You know, you're not getting the same value back, because food in the city snowballs into additional population, which means more resources and stuff. I'm not actually sure if it's right to overgrow here or not. I guess let's try it. Try being a little bit aggressive with it. We are, of course, going to be producing quite a lot of food with seed storage. We might build the husbandry center next. Or maybe we should put up the geomic labs next. Yeah, actually, we have a lot of tiles that have science on them. But since I think we're going to move our people over to food for a little while, we can offset the loss here. Alright, we'll talk to this minor faction village and see if those sisters want to give me an easier quest. Or a quest that has better rewards. Either one would be good. Okay, 30 dust, and... So do we want to go the faction route for the military stuff? Or, like, the infantry tree is pretty good. It has bonus reinforcement positions, which I really like as a skill. Yet army ignores movement penalties, which is good. Plus 20% attack on all the units in the army is really good. Urkan Slayer is fine, probably not all that useful. Yeah, let's start with the class tree. Iron Taskmaster is very powerful. And Ice in the Veins is, like, totally okay. Honestly, it's pretty much about Iron Taskmaster and Rallying Call. They're both very good. I haven't really been going after the Breakwall Ruin, because I don't think we're actually going to want to use Breakwall. I think we're going to want to stick with two-handed weapons. I guess we'll get more military heroes. Maybe they would like a big fancy shield. I'm not too worried about it. I think searching ruins and stuff, getting early resources is going to be better than getting a hold of Breakwall. Especially since our extractors are weak, right? I believe that's the case. I guess we should have. Maybe I should have gone over all of our stuff. Yeah, our extractors are bad, so, like, additional strategic costs are maybe going to be hard for us to pay. This tribe would like me to destroy a Silix village in Dells. Do we know Dells? We don't. It'll be one of these two regions then. I believe that the region you're asked to go to for this quest is always adjacent. Silix are not going to be a super easy fight for us. Well, I guess we have ranged units. We could just kite them. They're good at punching and surviving being punched. They're not that good at catching up with people. Ah, we have actually done very well on ruins so far here. Make sure there's no army in this region in 5 turns. Okay, that probably will just happen without our intervention. That's just free stuff. And there are 2 spice tiles here. So next turn we have Alchemist Furnace. It'll be a few turns before we get Mill Foundry. This is definitely a lot later than I usually like to get a hold of Mill Foundry. It is often the first thing I want to research, but I think we're going to be enabled to research things in a slightly different order than usual by the fact that our start is so powerful. Alright, so deploy and fully grow 3 Mykaran extractors to get 15 titanium. Parlay with at least 5 minor factions. Okay, that is totally doable. So this is another Sisters of Mercy region. Weird that there are 2 right next to each other. Okay, I forgot to move people over to food. And I think maybe we just want to go for the extractors immediately. So we're going to get... I want some titanium income, but we're also going to get a bunch of titanium income for free. It's like maybe we do 1 titanium and 2 glass steel. And all the way here on the northern coast, where hopefully they're far away from everybody else. And that has pretty much completely undone all of the food advantage from putting our people over on food. But getting your extractors up early is important. And after Mill Foundry, maybe our next attack should be Mercenary Market. I think we're in a good position to buy a hero really quickly here. So if the eclipse begins, we can rush our fungal blooms with dust, but probably the eclipse, if it does begin before, if we do get an eclipse before winter, it's not necessarily going to be soon. It could be like up to 20 turns from now, right? Well, no, 20 turns doesn't give us time enough for an eclipse, but it could be a while from now, you know. Remember, we can fungal bloom ruins to form tunnels that we can use to travel quickly, but I don't know when it would be appropriate to do that. We probably should not spend any more food on blooms right now. Okay, this will just get done. I'm not too stressed about that. Okay. Great big magic sword. 9 glass steel is going to be kind of a high cost, but if we're only doing it once, we can probably make it work. I will say that if the eclipse starts soon, we have a lot of temple ruins nearby. Ooh, dies. Do I want to just pop these dies? Maybe I want to hold on to them in hopes of having this go off? Probably not. I don't really care that much about the emeralds. We don't need the die for approval. It's not going to push us up an approval threshold. Do I actually want plus 50% influence right now? I guess as soon as that village finishes overgrowing, our booster cost is going to go up above 10, right? I don't remember if it goes up 1 point or 2 points per village, but it will be more. We won't be able to pop the booster. So I guess we may as well. And then I suppose we'll run over here into what is obviously a corner just to make sure that we see all the tiles. And hey, there's a player. Possibly Kapaku, given that that region is lava. Or volcanic, rather. 2 turns until Mill Foundry finishes, and that'll be right when we get our Biamic Lab up. So the production queue will be clear. This is looking like it is lining up very well, in fact. Alright, where do I think we want to go? We probably ought to search out the area south of us. It looks like probably... Yep, pink is Kapaku. They ran a unit over close enough to see us. Well, I'm a little nervous about that, because Kapaku are regarded as pretty strong, and we are regarded as pretty weak, but I guess we'll see how it works out. Produce 40 industry in one of your cities for 10 turns. Well, that also will just get done eventually. Oh, I love this quest. Okay, using this Centaur unit, visit the 3 indicated minor factions in less than 20 turns for a whole lot of titanium. So let's pin that. Alright, where are the villages we're talking about? Really far away? Yes, very far away. I mean, that's the whole point, right? This guy is going to get us so much information and so many ruin searches. 10 more die, okay. So we don't see any other players' territory through the fog around those cities. No idea where the other players are. Well, not sure if I want to search those ruins anymore. That was the plan, obviously, but now if we go over there, I won't be able to escape the Stone Sentinels next turn. And I'd love to not lose my early military units. Not yet, anyway. Five turns until Mercenary Market. Really, even with the tech boost. Or the science boost, rather. Make sure that we are moving away from them. Alright, so we got our sewer system. I guess that does drive tech costs up. Well, so that'll finish on turn 14. That's good enough. Basically, I just want to get it done before turn 16 so that we have access to the first batch of heroes, and then immediately afterward, the second batch of heroes, so that we can try to get a reasonable governor. I would love to get a cultist. We'll see if that looks feasible at all. Lots of good stuff to build here. Probably not enough dust to be able to afford to rush any of this stuff. If the eclipse comes up and we get to search some ruins, maybe we could end up with enough, or get to like double search some temple ruins. Maybe we'd end up with enough dust, but also if that happened, maybe we would just want to buy out our fungal blooms. Let's start with you. Alright, well we found Red's border. We are doing very well on money so far, especially considering that we have no income. So let's have this guy loop back around. We might need to be able to present a united military force against Pink at some point in the not-too-distant future. So we have all four of our current blooms will finish at the same time. And then we'll suddenly have a whole bunch more food, and I don't know what we'll need it for, but we'll get the next step of our faction quest, so that will probably tell us. They still know where we are over here, so I'm inclined to make sure we are moving as early as possible on this side. Okay, the Etmus thing did happen. And that's got us on 25 die. We actually would have gotten the legendary deed for having 30 of one resource if I hadn't spent the die. Okay, 5 more titanium, that's totally fine. Pacify these heiresses. Don't put any influence in the military ministry and get the economy and population up to level 1. That's very doable. Did we talk to the minor faction in this region? Yeah, we totally did. Well, we failed the quest because one of the 3 very distant villages got destroyed. Unfortunately, that quest pretty much never is completable because of the fact that the 3 villages are always really far away from you and you have no way of keeping them from being destroyed. But you do get a free centaur. We get to just run around and scout very effectively with it. Return to this village when you are ready to give them 50 dust. Well, it's way more likely that we will be able to pull off the quest this time, now that we have more strategics, but I don't think I actually want to. I don't think I care about pacifying guys in Oleran. Well, actually, where are we at on this? We're at 2 villages right now, which does not put us in first place. Do we know? We cannot see how many villages there are, but they only give you this quest if there's more than 1 village in the region, because the second step is to go to one of the other villages in the region. Yeah, we probably should do that if we want to get tactical training. Alright, we'll turn him around and actually do that then. Turn to this village with an army that contains a minimum of 3 minor faction units. Nope, not happening. Okay, nothing in that ruin. Okay, we are now at 4 of 5 on this this quest. We're pretty close to getting all those pacifies. Couple of unlucky ruins there. Oh, this is that Silix village we were supposed to destroy. Well, we will not be doing that, obviously. Okay, they just want me to bring my hero to the other village in the region, and they have not lit it up. I guess it could be back here. We should make sure we get vision of all these tiles. Okay, place where we can build a dye extractor where it's quite remote. It'd probably be unlikely for the AI to interfere with that. Wondering if maybe we want to pull these people off of food. These are pretty important buildings we're looking at here. And I'm not negative on food, I just hit 0. But this gets the mill foundry done this turn, the sewer system shortly afterward. Yeah, and all of our extractors are going up next turn, so we're going to get our food back. I think that's fine. Chat with these guys, which will push us over on this. So how many villages did we get with that? Where are we at on the legendary deed now? That was 2 more villages. Okay, we are in first place again. Man, if only the the eclipse would come. We're in such a good position for it. Wow, is that 4 failed ruin searches in a row? It's kind of wild. Oh yeah, so we did this. We got all that titanium. Even though I slumber, every day I feel myself grow stronger, more capable. Somehow I feel faraway places healing me and giving me sustenance. Soon I will come to full wakefulness and understand, I'm sure. In the meantime, the memories of my people's slaughter at the hands of the mages only sharpens my enmity. Today I awoke and discovered the horrifying truth. I am Mykara, and the Mykara is me. We are one, a symbiosis of flesh and filaments, memories and myths. In the cold light of day I can now clearly remember how I survived. The Mykara had fascinated me for a long time when I led those who would join me away from the home vaults. It was an ancient fungal species, mycelial tendrils and mushroom fruit, no sign of what it would one day become. Growing largely in the subterranean realm, it was unseen by most and overlooked by the rest, but I saw its potential. Sinewy, resilient, vigorous, I knew it could transform a Vaulter settlement, and it did. Crops, waste, defense, it was a wonder material. It even began to shed light on the legendary Urkan beasts who reputedly emerged from the Aurigan crust every few centuries, before slipping back into folkloric tales. Sadly, one of those same beasts came under the spell of our ancient enemy the mages, who used it to find and then destroy us. As my kinsman died in my arms, as I basked in my feelings of vengeance, a desperate idea came to me. The Mykara had brought me to this juncture, and the Mykara would grant me my revenge. After all, in my heart, I'd always been convinced it was much more than a mere mindless organism. I scrambled deeper and deeper into the earth, far into the inky darkness of the thickest mycelial forest, where thick tendrils vied with web-like skeins. Unable to move any further, I lay on a bed of filaments and curled myself into a ball. It swiftly ensnared me, a cocoon of protection wrapped around a heart of malice. Now we are one. It acts, I act, we act. Sometimes it almost feels like I'm doing things against my will. It's terrifying, but I will grow used to it, even perhaps enjoy it. Besides, I have real power now, and the first task is to learn if I wasn't the only survivor. So we need to control 4 more overgrown villages. Well, I guess overgrowing that village does turn out to have had some value then. Well, we have the ability to overgrow the sisters over here. Not totally ideal. Tribe in this region doesn't want to negotiate. Okay, maybe they do want to get destroyed. So we're at 4 villages pacified. Okay. We're going to get at least 2 more from this region, so we're pretty close to hitting the 8. This is definitely something we can do. We must have interacted with this region's tribe. No, we haven't, actually. Okay, so we could attack a village around here somewhere, just to push up 1 more village, because it's possible that there are 3 Nidya villages in this volcanic region, and that pacifying this region will get us to 7. Then doing just a little bit of violence will get it done. It's also possible the Eresis and Therat will push us along, but that's not until... This won't fire until turn 21, which might be too late. Up these Ursus, we have to go and fight whatever lives in those ruins. So we'll run this Epitane down here, have the hero search that, and maybe we can get that. Ursus would be a very good faction to assimilate. So I would very much like to get them pacified, but I think we might get started. What are you? Yotus? Yeah, I kind of want to just get started on the overgrowths, I think. Move our faction quest along as fast as possible. I should also pin this. We'll get 10 Quicksilver, which we'll have no use for. Kind of a bad reward for a quest that requires you to do a thing that increases the cost of your luxury boosters. It's going to then give you just enough of a luxury booster for you not to be able to use it. Yeah, I guess let's start converting. We can't convert them yet. And if we convert this village, we have no way of defending it. It'll just get broken off. I'm fine with that. Alright, let's see that hero marketplace. We're going to be able to make much more informed decisions about our dust usage now. Swing past here and chat with these guys. Okay. We can go fight the Gorin Alpha Male with our hero to pacify these villages. That would get that quest done. Damn it. Well, okay, well, the Nidya thing is no longer on the table because the other village got destroyed. The other players are always ruining my questing. Yep, and there it is. We would have gotten it next turn. Frustrating. Alright, well... The Legendary Deed is still very much in reach. This is a minor setback. We can get this done and this done, and that will probably do it, right? Hopefully that will do it. Alright, let's look at the hero marketplace. So at the beginning of the game, there's not a huge number of heroes available. The hero marketplace refreshes, gets a new batch every 15 turns. So, you know, the first one comes on turn 1, then on 61, or then on 16, then on 31. So if we don't want any of these, we can just wait a couple of turns and we'll get a refresh on 16. Industry Boost 1, Science Boost 3 is interesting, but I think we're gonna hold off. Good to know, but yeah, let's hold off until the next group of heroes comes in, and we'll see if we maybe can get lucky and get a cultist, or even just like one of the heroes that has 2 governing capacities would also be fine. I would not be upset about a. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Please do not fungal bloom this random ruin in the middle of nowhere. We should think about overgrowing some ruins somewhere for the purposes of travel, but right now we're spending so much food already overgrowthing things, I don't want to push it. Oh yes, I suppose we should be researching things. Why not? Our research rate is starting to slow down a little bit, so let's get our public library, and then after that it's probably Empire Mint, although we definitely do want Open Pit Mine as well. It's probably like this. Although we'll enter the second era before we get all three of these. Do I maybe... We probably cannot afford to not take Empire Mint. But it doesn't have to be right this second. Alright, hopefully this will be a hold on. Hold on. Before we search that, we should make sure that this guy's a little bit closer. There we go. Okay, rumblers are not totally ideal. You're trapped. Survive if possible, but more important to make sure they don't survive. Listen, if you live, that's okay, but it's not really our main goal here. So we could try to build the Museum of Ariga. Do we have any quests or anything bringing in sources of glass, or bringing in big punches of glass steel? Because I would love it if we could push to the industrial megapole. If we destroy this village, we'll get a bunch of emeralds, which we can use to pacify our home region village. We should probably actually make sure that happens. So basically, what I'm wondering here is whether I want to spend this glass steel, whether this is going to make it impossible for us to get the megapole. But plus 20% dust in science, permanently, because the Empire is always going to be happy, is probably worth building right now. And that first district is so good for us. Yeah, let's go for it. Okay. Let's fight our battle here. I think we should be able to handle this. Again, our hero is an absolute killing machine. These guys do have... Oh, that's right, they don't have stun. Or they're supposed to have stun, because they usually have hammers. But these ones have axes for some reason. Okay, well that's going to make this a lot less dangerous. My main concern here was that they might stun me. So we'll do this, and we'll have you run down and attack from here. That way, this Rumbler has to walk around the hero to try to get to our ranged unit. They will absolutely tear the Ipotane apart, so we have to be pretty cautious about that. Okay, just wants to fight the hero. Let's make sure that you get killed. Our hero might be too good at fighting. Alright, there's some more pacification. We go ahead and overtake this village. So we need to talk to this village with just the hero. Ordinarily, I would have the hero come over here and search this for the XP, but we gotta get a move on here. I really, really want tactical training. And we could just start in on these guys with just the Ipotane. Like, he's not going to kill him, but he's also not going to take any damage. Because these Silics only have 1 speed, naturally. Okay, they didn't actually get any closer there. My plan is to have the hero warp over here after dealing with the Goron situation and finish this off properly. But we can soften him up a little bit while we're waiting. It would take quite a few of these to actually kill these units. Alright, it's a start. I guess you should just hang out. Still no interest in negotiating, huh? You can't make my life a little bit easier? Alright, so we have the overgrowth going on these guys. Should we just start this village this turn? Oh, I don't actually even have the food. Never mind. What I'm thinking is, obviously, if we start this village this turn, then we'll actually complete the quest in 8 turns. Every turn we wait is a turn we're pushing off the next step in the faction quest. How many people would I have to move back? Just 1? But it would add a turn to the museum. Alright, I'm going to move this guy back to here. We're going to produce 1 additional citizen. I'll start the overgrowth on that next turn, I guess. Because I do want that additional body for building. Help offset the person that we have to keep on food to keep the overgrowths up. Okay, I think we might have to move this guy 1 space closer to make sure he's in reinforcement range, because we might get attacked from this angle. Alright. I challenge you. Fair one-on-one combat. Technically, this is one-on-one combat, because all of my units are part of the same organism. I don't love having to fight him in a tile where he has the defensive boost of a forest and I don't, but I also don't want to let him actually move and potentially run over here and smash my Epitane, so this is how we're doing it. How is this possible? He croaks. It's as though you had more warriors than I counted. Again, 1 organism. We totally did not need the help of the Epitane, by the way. Alright, I'm going to get down here and try to get vision of another Silix village for us to... Oh, wow, actually, this is just a tiny little region. We can actually see the border. So, no, there probably isn't another village. Maybe I want to assimilate this Gorin instead of this thing up here. Just because we're more likely to be able to hold on to the Gorin. Okay, yeah, I think that's probably the right way to do that. We need to keep 1 person on food. So we'll move on to the next step of our faction quest on turn 23-ish, which honestly is not bad. You guys feeling any more chatty now? Nope. Okay. Worth a shot. Let's just keep hunting for ruins. Also, I should be at 7 of 8 on this now. So when we warp the hero over and defeat the Silix village, that will push us to 8 of 8, and we will get our legendary deed. Now our hero is a little wounded, but we should be able to handle this pretty easily. Alright, so things are just pushing along naturally. Turn 16, we get the new batch of heroes. Also, somebody got to Era 2, which is fairly impressive. Come on, good cultist hero. Ozek the Chosen with Influence Boost 3 is definitely a strong contender. Let's see. Science Boost 1. Another Specialized Polyp 9S. Polyp 3G is not any better at governing. Yeah, I think we're almost certainly looking at Ozek here. Army Defense Boost 3. Eslik Tarash has Science Boost 1. And of course that Haunt Tree, which does give you an awful lot of extra science. Some of the time. Dust Boost 1. Yeah, none of these are even close. Alright, Ozek the Chosen. Welcome to the team. It wasn't even really that expensive. Yeah, we've gotten very lucky in a large number of ways here. Again, if after all of this I fail to get the win in this game, I am going to feel a little bit like a total fraud. I think I'm fine with letting our hero just charge in and potentially get his face punched in. Because he'll just last stand. It's not like he'll actually die, and then we have all that good health regen. And actually, he can kind of kite a little bit. Oh no, that space is... Shoot, okay. Just back off for a second. I would love it if he would only have to fight one of them at a time. And you can sort of kite against Silix a little bit, even with melee troops, because they're so bad at moving. You can like if we can just stand in a tile where one of them can't reach us, like this. Although I guess actually this guy is fairly likely to die here, so this one will be able to walk into the tile he used to occupy. But that's an okay outcome. I'm fine with that. Free counter is so good on a hero who's actually good at fighting. And there you go. That is our 8th pacified village. So 15% initiative for all of our units forever. It's a pretty good reward. Also 15 emeralds. And now we must return to this village to restore their trust. Well, I think it is a good idea for this army to come home. Because we have to then go and give the emeralds to the haunts anyway. And this guy can take up the duty of exploring this area. So we have done very, very well here. We have enough dust to potentially buy out that public library. Like, we won't be able to buy it out from full. That would be 178 dust, but we can buy some of it off. If I click on this, does it just show me a listing of my blooms? No, that toggles on and off the visibility of the bloom buttons. In the city screen, maybe? No. Okay. That's a shame. What I would really like is just a menu that shows you all of your blooms and how much time is left on each of them. And maybe like a little thing to zoom to it. Otherwise, I have to keep track of where everything is on the map, and the bloom stuff disappears when you zoom out a little bit. You know, the Endless Legend community patch people did very thoughtfully implement a thing that allows you to change the level of zoom out at which this effect occurs. So I guess I could just turn that slider up so that we could zoom further out while keeping all of the stuff visible. That might be a solution. Or there might just be a button that is the thing I'm looking for that that gives me that menu I want that I just don't know about. Alright, the dies have run out. Do I want to repop that die booster? We don't need it for approval. I should probably do this. Probably have the gold running so that we're not burning as much dust. Hey, we're kind of making a lot of influence. Why am I making so much influence? Where's 6 influence coming from? Oh, right, Ozek. So actually, the dies are pretty effective right now. God, we have a ton of influence for this early in the game. It's a shame we're not quite going to make it to Era 2 before turn 20, because the thing that locks the progress on these is your eras. If we got to Era 2 before turn 20, we actually are in a place to have enough... We have enough influence that we could afford to take the level 2 science and industry thing. Which would be really nice to have. We do have enough influence to do an assimilation, but we currently can't assimilate anyone that matters. Alright, some Gelderus over here. I'm a little bit less concerned about pacifications, especially distant pacifications, now that we have the deed. 5 more glass steel, that's nice to find. We should probably meet blue. Since they're so far away from us, there's not really any downside to encountering them. What did you want? Free our people. Oh, they wanted me... That's where I'm going. That's what they want, is a visit from me. It's very easy for me to get all turned around and think I need to be heading in a different direction. Okay, enter Technology Era 2 within the next 10 turns. Absolutely done. No question. Yeah, this feels like it's going very well. We will definitely be permanently fervent once we have the museum. We probably don't even need the museum for that. Let's see if we can encounter blue. Blue's far enough away from us that they might make a really good ally. Like, they're close to people who we might want to fight, and they're far enough away from us that they probably won't give us any trouble. An army roaming Glenda has 80 dust for me. Well, we probably will not bother to look for them. That seems like a lot of trouble. Oh, they're roving clans. These rainbow banners are the dead giveaway. Well, then they probably will not be used to us, of any use to us as military allies, but, you know, still possibly a trading partner. Okay, so 15 gold from them. Then we go and give the 15 emeralds they gave us from the first step of this over to those guys. Got lots of important searching to do. Did I not click here? Huh. I guess I just missed the tile. I feel like that's a thing that's been happening to me a lot more recently. Yeah, we're just like rolling in dust, especially considering how little effort we've put into it. We don't even have our Empire Mint or anything. Okay, so we have the ability to build a public library. We certainly are not going to delay the museum for it. I do not want to lose out on this museum, and we totally could. Turn 24. Like, the AI can absolutely get this done before turn 24 if they want to. We just have to hope that they are not wanting to. Yeah, we are ranked first on this. That means nobody else has a larger percentage of the production toward this than we do. We totally could have ended up in Era 2 before turn 20, thanks to the free tech, if we'd kept our people really devoted to science. I do not think that it was I think we made the right decisions. Like, the cost of doing that is probably too great for the benefit that it would give, but it is neat that we had the option, at least. Oh, we met Blue. That's not what I wanted. I was clicking that bottom middle button like it was zoomed to the event. Alright, we do want to get out of here. They can't declare war on us, but they absolutely can attack me. Okay, 4 turns until all this stuff is done. 3 turns until we have a minor faction that we might... I mean, even a 5% reduction in building cost is still something. I'm usually pretty reluctant to assimilate a minor faction that we only have 1 village of. That might not be so bad. Alright. Handed over our emeralds, got our haunts pacified, which means 1 more point of population for the city. And we could push to Rallying Call, but I think I'm actually going to finish Iron Taskmaster first. It really is a lot of extra health. And our units seem to be a little bit on the weedy side without it. Alright, who was it that wanted us to... The Eresis in Therat want me to put the Economy and Population Ministry to its level 1 minimum. Where's Therat? I don't think I care about doing that. It would allow me to get dust more efficiently. Like, that's not really a thing I care very much about. We might actually do this, because we are going to need military units. We probably should not have this small of a force at this point in the game, but things are going so well for us economically. Like, it feels good to just build up like this. But we will definitely want to produce some units in the next however many turns. So yeah, and we also have like very little other use for our influence at this moment. We definitely want to keep enough to do an assimilate, but I guess we only have 1 assimilate coming, so it's only going to cost us 30 influence. We're making 6 per turn. Like, do I want to maybe grab this too? Or honestly, maybe even that? I'm going to do it like this. I'm not too worried about that. Like, this will not satisfy the Eresis quest, but I don't care about that. Let's leave this open as an option. I don't think we're going to use it, but we don't need the influence for anything else. I guess there's an argument to be made that I could have gone for all 4 of the things. Because we definitely will be able to afford an assimilate. Yeah, maybe I should have gone for all 4 of the branches of the Empire plan. The extra vision's nice. It's certainly not, like, necessary. But it is nice to have. Boy, sure looks like the roving clans have been up to some stuff out here. If that was a settler, I would have very seriously considered killing them. So we're now bringing in food. We can move this guy back to industry, and that does take a turn off the museum, so we probably should. we'll get back to generating population in just a minute here. And we're totally going to have enough glasssteel, thanks to our extractors, to try for the megapole as well. I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea, but it's an option. Yeah, I should probably have just taken all 4 branches of the Empire plan, huh? Oh, that's there. We know those guys. Well, it might be time to bring the Centaur home. Try to have a little bit of a standing army, in case our neighbors go nuts. Basically, in case the Kapaku go nuts. Do we want to try to kill this guy? Because that could be our goal during Era 2, right? Get some military units up, get meritocratic promotion, build some titanium weapons, and take out the Kapaku before they become a problem. Because they definitely have the ability to build into a large issue. What do we want to do with this army? I guess we should actually explore these tiles. Two more turns. We are getting through our faction quest pretty quickly here. I can't remember, does the Mykara faction quest require you to attack another player? A lot of them do. That might be what guides our military direction. Oh hey. I was going to come home, but that's a player and we should probably meet them. Alright, well that's not happening. That's a whole lot of instructions. And I would say it looks like we are almost certainly not getting the eclipse before winter. We'll really run out of time on that. Search the 2 ruins in Doyak to get some glasssteel. Okay, I'm down with that. Where's Doyak? Doyak. Oh, wow. Okay. That's a little bit more distant than the target for that quest usually is. Well, fortunately, we have somebody who is good at crossing distances. We'll get ourselves a bunch of glasssteel. We have more glasssteel than titanium income, and we also have a considerable percentage bonus to our initiative. So maybe we want to go for glasssteel weaponry? Yeah, that might be a good way to go. Also, if we don't deal with the Kapaku, I think it might be difficult to maintain our spice extractors, which we definitely want to build. Okay, hey, that's a lot of notifications. First of all, Ozek, do what you do. Secondly, so yeah, we got our sweet museum. Oh, what was that? Oh, okay. There are demons in this area. I don't know if we want to do an assimilate just yet. Hold on. Okay, yes, apparently we do. We got 10 Quicksilver, which we can't actually use for anything. We did this. We got 10 Grass Silk, which we can't actually use for anything. The roving clans picked up Wealth Harvester. Not a big surprise. Okay, so who do we want to assimilate? It's probably... well, is it? I was going to say it's probably the Ursus, but I don't know if that's actually true. What are my options? We have 1 Haunt Village for plus 5% science, 5% reduction in building costs, like a lot of health regen that we don't really need, plus 5% life on our units. Man, these are all so marginal. I guess, what's the military unit we could make the most use of? We don't really have anything that's like a Haunt. Haunts are powerful. They're expensive and weird, but they're powerful. And plus 5% science is cool. I think the Rumbler fills a pretty similar role to our Era 2 unit. But yeah, we don't have flyers naturally. Okay, let's assimilate them. And you are just scouting. Turns out we do have a second Gorin village available, should we want it. We currently have no fungal blooms growing. Oh, you have 1 point of movement left. So we have all this food that we definitely want to do something with. We're just not sure what. Okay, green is necrophages. Well, Okay, another good reason to have assimilated the haunts is that the ended unit is disease immune because it's not biological. So that might have some that might have some value. All right, we're gonna have to keep an eye on these guys then. So there is still one player somewhere who is a mystery to us. But man, we started really far away from everybody. It's probably very much to our benefit. Like I keep saying, a lot of things are going really right here. All right, so we have access to Era 2 research. What are the Era 2 deeds? Be the first to earn 2,000 influence. That's not going to be us. Be the first to attack and defeat at least 10 armies of other empires. Currently, everybody's tied at 0. This totally could be us. I don't know that we would necessarily get a lot of value out of the Eye of the Farthinker, given our resource generation and stuff. We've gotten really lucky with finding things from ruins, but remember, we do only have 0.5 titanium income and 1 glass steel income. Yeah, I don't know. Probably we would not get a lot of value out of that. Also, nobody's in Era 3 yet. We're not even a full era behind on science, which is cool. But the Era 3 deeds are get one of each of the first 4 strategics. Sorry, be producing one of each of the first 4 strategics. And be the first to raise one of your heroes to level 8. That totally could be us. There's no reason we can't get Intelligence Core. Our Mykara hero is off to a great start. I think maybe this is where we'll call it. We have to make some decisions here. We could go after the Megapole. It really wouldn't be that long to build, and it's super powerful. If we built it, I guess we could build it right here, and that way all these districts are feeding into leveling each other up, and it gets us a little bit closer to the other massive tree, which seems like a thing we very much want. We have to figure out whether we want to, or which fungal blooms we want to be running. It's possible that the right thing to do here is to lay off the fungal blooms for a minute and let our population grow while we focus on industry to get the Megapole done. But it's also possible that it's right to just let the Megapole go and instead build military units or a burrow, and move our guys over to food just to pump population for a little while. I'm not sure. We have a lot of options to consider. So I think that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time to see what we've decided, and feel free to leave advice in the comments below. I will make sure to read, and we'll see you then.